Hello everybody, today is part 2 of my record collection, and today we'll be focusing on the Beatles. Not solo, just the Beatles. It's a group. First we have Please Please Me. This is a 1963 pressing on the black and yellow Parlophone label. Then we have the 2009 remaster LP. We got With the Beatles. Sorry, I lied. We have another copy of Please Please Me. This one's pretty warped, but it was $1, and it's a British pressing. So. Then we have With the Beatles. This is a 1970s pressing, or a 1980 pressing. I don't know. Either late 70s, 80s. An Australian pressing. From the 70s, another 70s pressing, but this one's from Canada. Another 70s press, this one's from this one's from Germany. We have a Taiwanese pressing. And another late 70s or early 80s one. This one's in not that great condition. We have Hard Day's Night. Got a UK 70s pressing. We have a Japanese 80s pressing. This one's in mono and on red vinyl. And we have a French 70s pressing. And we have the 2009 remaster. We have Beatles for Sale, 70s UK press. We have the mono remaster. I think it was 2012 or 2014. I can't remember. Please forgive my stupidity. We have a Russian pressing of Beatles for Sale, excuse me. It said Meet the Beatles. Got Help. This is an original 1965 British pressing of the album. We have a 70s, late 60s, 70s German pressing. I wrote 1966, but I don't know how accurate that is, because those are really outdated stickers. We got a Russian pressing. Love the Russian pressings because of the covers. We got a Japanese press from the 2000s. I wrote 2003. And we have a picture disc of Help. Keep almost putting them the wrong way. Then we got the stereo remaster. Got a bootleg mono of the 2009 remaster. And this is on red vinyl, which is pretty neat. And we move on to Rubber Soul with the 2014 or 2012, again I can't remember, mono remaster. And we got a Japanese pressing from the 70s. This is the country flag series, but it's missing the obi. It's on Apple. We got Revolver. This is an original 1966 UK pressing. It is after they corrected the matrix though, so it doesn't have the mistake on it. We have a 1970s stereo pressing. We have another 1970s stereo, but this one's from France. Then we have one, I'm not 100% sure where this one's from, but I believe it's from Israel. But again, I'm not 100% sure. It's got the British front and back, but it's on Apple. Give you a good look at the label. If any of you know anything about that record, please let me know, because it's really weird. Anyway, we have the mono remaster for Revolver, and the stereo remaster for Revolver. And the last copy of Revolver, we got this one, which is a bootleg copy, which is cool. I don't ever play it, but I got it mainly because of the record. As you can see, is a sparkly, marbly blue. We have Sgt. Pepper. We have the mono remaster. Stereo remaster. 50th anniversary edition. We got 50th anniversary edition picture disc. That's the only 50th picture disc I have, sadly. I really want to get the Abbey Road and Let It Be ones. We have the original picture disc from the 70s. And we have an original 1967 mono American press on the Rainbow Capital label. Here's a special one. Got an original 1967 US stereo pressing. We have another, I have a lot of Sgt. Peppers. This one's a 1969 copy. We have an 80s pressing, I believe. Yeah, it's definitely an 80s pressing. And then we have a really beat up mono copy from 67 before I knew what I was doing in regards to record collecting. This one's really cool because it's a double album. It's a Russian copy of Sgt. Pepper, and it also has, if I can get it out, Revolver on the other side with a completely different collage. And it just slid out, so give me 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Now we got Magical Mystery Tour. This is a 70s Apple American copy. This one's also really special because this is an original 1967 mono press. It almost fell over. Got a whole stack forming over here. We got a 1970s German pressing, still in the shrink wrap. And then we have another Apple leader press. This one I got for free. It had a sticker on it. It's also on the label. I think it's time to start a new pile. So, get another Magical Mystery Tour US. This one's extremely beat up. It's a mono, but again, it's extremely beat up. But I got it for free, so what can you say? We got White Album Remaster. Here's my favorite White Album pressing. It's a 1970s German print of the album. It's actually numbered, which is hard to see, but you can see it right there. That's the number of the German one. Someone wrote their name and address, it looks like. Then we have the mono remaster, which here's the number on that. And we got a big guy. We have the White Album 50th Anniversary Edition with the Escher demos. Got an original US 1968 pressing, I put a little comic strip that had to do with the White Album in it. And here's the number on that. Then we got a picture disc edition of the White Album. Each side has a different Beatle. John's on the front, then Paul, then George, then Ringo. We have Yellow Submarine. This is an American print from 1969. You can see it was signed by one of the animators, Ron Campbell. Sadly, it has my dead name on it, but still special. Wait, then we move on to a French pressing of Yellow Submarine. This one sounds really good. The French pressings of Beatles albums are really underrated. Speaking of Yellow Submarine, we have this, which is a Russian copy of Magical Mystery Tour. And you're like, why are you showing Magical Mystery Tour now? Because on the other side is Yellow Submarine. A completely new drawing. And we have Abbey Road. I have all 3 original American variations on this album. I sound like a total nerd, but you could tell the differences by looking at the labels and the back covers. See, this one does not say Her Majesty on the cover, and it also doesn't say on the label. If you give me a sec, I'll show you that. And now you can see it does not say Her Majesty on the label. And now we move on to another copy of Abbey Road. This time, it says Her Majesty on... It does not say Her Majesty on the back. I lied to you. It does not say Her Majesty on the back, but it says it on the label. And then here's the final variation of Abbey Road from America in 1969, where it says Her Majesty on the cover and on the label. And last for the first shelf, I have multiple shelves, so last for the first shelf is a Japanese pressing of Abbey Road from the Country Flag series. The $40 is not written on the cover. As you can see, it's on the plastic. This is annoying, but whatever. Wait, that's shelf 1. Now onto shelf 2. Now onto shelf 2. We have Abbey Road again, but this is the box set for the 50th anniversary. You have Let It Be. Now we have another copy of Let It Be. And speaking of Let It Be, whoa, we have that huge 50th anniversary box set. Big one. Excuse me. Then we have Past Masters. We have Mono Masters. I'm pretty sure it's hard to get now. I got this on Amazon not that long ago. So maybe it's not as hard to find as people think. I don't know. Anyway, we got Beatles Christmas album. This is a counterfeit pressing, but it's on green vinyl, which is pretty cool. And we have the American albums now. We start off with Introducing the Beatles. This is a legit version 2. We have Meet the Beatles. This is an original mono. Got a stereo copy from the 80s, I think, from Canada, I believe. We got a 1983 pressing, Meet the Beatles. As you can see, it's a promo, which is why I got it. Not really that special, but I thought that was neat. We have another 1964 mono in unplayable condition, but it was my late uncle's, so it's special. We got the Beatles' second album, again 1964 mono. Got a 70s stereo copy. My goal is to get a mono and stereo of every Beatle album. Another 64 original in horrible shape, that was my late uncle's. And we have Hard Day's Night in mono, again 64 original, mono. I think I already said it was in mono. Anyway, got a stereo from, I believe, either the 70s or the 80s from Canada. I think the 70s. We got a promo copy from the 80s. You can see again there. This one's not on United Artists, it's on Capitol. And another one that was my late uncle's. And then, still in 64, we have Something New in mono. A 70s stereo reissue on purple label. And we have a Canadian original pressing from 64, mono. We got a 70s or 80s stereo reissue from Canada. And we have a German pressing in stereo. Have the Beatles Story, 70s reissue. Excuse me. Got Beatles 65, 1964 stereo. 64 mono, my bad. Another Beatles 65. This is a stereo reissue. It's still in the shrink wrap, so that's cool. Here's the 70s again. We have another Beatles 65. Another mono 64 copy, but in worse shape than the other. We got the early Beatles. This is a Canadian copy again. It says 1978. I'm not sure how accurate that is. We have back in 1965 with Beatles 6. Original mono. And I have a reissue stereo with the shrink wrap still. I'll start a new pile. Now we have another Beatles 6 in mono, just in bad shape. We got original 1965 mono pressing of Help, and an original 1965 stereo pressing of Help. Got a Canadian pressing of Help. Can't see the label though. I think it's purple Capitol if I remember right. See, it's a little different, the cover. You can see it's pink instead of blue. And speaking of different covers, got a Mexican pressing. Oh yeah, here's the label. We got an Apple pressing of Help, which I overpaid for. Well, I think I overpaid for it. A 1965 mono rubber sole. This one was in the shrink wrap, but the guy at the record store took it out of the shrink wrap. Thanks a lot. This is a original mono, an original stereo, but it had a mono cover, so I made a new cover for it, which I think is pretty cool to have that. And then we got another mono, It's from 65, but this actually might be 66 because this says the Beatles on the label. And if you look at an original, it doesn't say the Beatles. You might not have known. You have a 70s stereo copy. This one, you can't see the label, but it's an orange capital. Then we got Yesterday and Today, an original 1966 mono. Not a butcher. We got a 1968 stereo pressing. And a 70s Mexican pressing. And last for Yesterday and Today, we have a bootleg picture disc. And then we have Revolver. I have a mono pressing. As you can see, it skips on Yellow Submarine, sadly. But I never listened to the American version anyway. We have a reissue, Canadian reissue. I have the cover framed because I had Klaus Vormann sign it. So I made an alternate cover for it, which I think is pretty cool. As I said, Rubber Soul. We have last American album. We have the Beatles again. And the same album with its alternate title, Hey Jude. This one's still in the shrink wrap. You can see it's Hey Jude. Now we have some odds and ends from all over the world. We have a collection of Beatles oldies, some British pressing, and I have a German pressing of the same album. We have some weird American ones. We have Jolly What, the Beatles and Frank Ifield. And we have Songs, Pictures, Stories of the Fabulous Beatles. This one's in excellent shape, but it has writing on it, sadly. So you can see, gatefold's filled with writing. And another copy. This one's not in as good shape. And then we have Hear the Beatles Tell All. And that's last American oddity. We have the Essential Beatles from Australia. It's a pretty cool compilation. Then from Canada, we have Twist and Shout. Oops, I grabbed two there. And Long Tall Sally, also from Canada. And then, last but not least, we have the Beatles Beat from Germany. Last but not least for the shelf, I have many more. And then another copy of Beatles Beat. This one has the club cover, but unfortunately it is a counterfeit pressing. So see you in a second for the third shelf. Hello, now on to shelf 3. We have some more German records. We have the Beatles' Greatest. Not 100% sure if this is an original or an early reissue. Then we have another copy of the Beatles' Greatest. This one's a later pressing. We have from East Germany, we have the Beatles, but not the White Album, the Beatles. This is a different The Beatles album. You have from Russia, you have Hey Jude, which is different to the American Hey Jude album. And we have, now we get into compilations with the original Greatest Hits album, which is actually a bootleg, but I put it here because it's just a best of the Beatles. And we got the Beatles Red Album, the Beatles Red Album on red vinyl. We have another Red Album. And another Red Album. We have the Blue Album. We only have one. This is a French pressing that is on blue vinyl. Then we have Rock and Roll Music with the most hideous cover ever. Then we have the Beatles Love Songs, which is my favorite of the 70s Capitol compilations. Then we have the Beatles Rarities, UK version. This pressing here is from the Netherlands, also known as Holland. Got the American version, which is way better, in my opinion. Then we have Beatles Ballads. I forgot to show the back. I think these might be a little out of order, because I'm pretty sure Rarities came after. No, it came, I don't know. But anyway, we have the Beatles Real Music. And the Beatles 20 Greatest Hits. Now we have some more recent stuff with one. This is the original, not the remix. I'm not sure if I want to get the remix version or not. And we have another one of my favorites, compilation-wise, is Love, because it's all remixes. Makes it pretty cool and unique, if you ask me. Then we have Beatles Anthology 2. I'm missing Anthology 1, as you can tell. But I also have Beatles Anthology 3. I have the Beatles Live at the BBC. The Beatles Live at the BBC, Volume 2. I'm not showing the back of those because I don't feel like it and they're heavy. You have the Beatles Live at the Hollywood Bowl, signed by Bob Eubanks. We have the new Beatles Live at the Hollywood Bowl. And another copy of the Beatles Live at the Hollywood Bowl. And now we have the Beatles and Tony Sheridan stuff with the Beatles with Tony Sheridan and guests featuring My Bonnie. Yeah, this is the Savage Young Beatles, also known as the Savage Young Beatles. Then we have the Beatles Very Together, 1969. I like the cover with the snuffed out candle for Paul is Dead. And we have this weird one here, which has the Tony Sheridan stuff and Live at the Star Club. This one's called Birth of the Beatles. And speaking of the Star Club, we have the Beatles Live at the Star Club in Hamburg, Germany, 1962. Then we have the early Beatles, one. And the early Beatles 2, which is also the Star Club. And speaking of live, we have the Beatles pop group from Liverpool visiting Stockholm. I'm not going to read the rest of that because I'm going to butcher that word. But it's a single-sided record, which is pretty cool. And we got Live at the Hollywood Bowl bootleg of only the 1964 concert. While this Live at the Hollywood Bowl is an amalgamation of the 64 and 65 shows. This is just the 64 show. Then we have the Beatles Broadcasting Corporation, Beatles Night 7th, December 1963, which has Jukebox Jury on one side and It's the Beatles on the other side. And this is on blue vinyl. This is one of my favorite bootlegs. Then we got Vancouver 1964. The labels are blank, so I'm not going to show them. Same with this one. The Beatles live from the Sam Houston Coliseum. Amazing sound quality on this one, and that one's pretty good too. This one sounds great. Then you have Beatles Live at Last. Just see-through red. Then we have Beatles at the Beeb albums. Most of them are blank labels, sadly, but we got Volume 3, Volume 7, Volume 7, Volume 10, Volume 11. Now we have some other BBC bootlegs. We have the Beatles Broadcasts, which is a great bootleg to have. It's like Live at the BBC cut down. And we have Beautiful Dreamer, which is pretty bad sound quality, but it's got a great cover. Now just continuing on with the theme of bootlegs. The Quarrymen at Home, the Liverpool Rehearsal, Spring 1960, the Decca Tapes, Beatles for Auction, the Black Album. Sorry for not showing the labels, I just kind of want to go through the bootlegs pretty quick. And we have Sweet Apple Tracks, Hot as Sun, which is just Sweet Apple Tracks. And we have Sweet Apple Tracks 2. We have a Sweet Apple Tracks picture disc. I didn't know what it was, but it's cool. So it's got them on the roof. And then we have Bye Bye Love, which I had on my old channel. I might rip it and upload it again. I don't know. If you want that, let me know. We have The Beatles Come Back, KUM. Then we have Get Back, which is on green vinyl. And we have Get Back to Toronto, which one I can never remember. This one's number 3 and Abbey Road NW8. We got Abbey Road Rock Band Remixes 2009. Beatles Not for Sale. File Under Beatles. Sessions. I'm going to show the label on this one though, because it looks like a real Odeon release. Then we got 20 by 4. And Last for the Shelf. And Almost the End for the Beatles. And this part is Rough Notes. Okay, and now for the last few Beatle albums, we have Ultra Rare Tracks Volumes 1 and 2, Ultra Rare Tracks Volume 4, Ultra Rare Tracks Volume 5, The Beatles Buried Treasure, Recovered Tracks, LS Bumblebee, 1958 to 1962, 20 hits, which aren't hits at all. It's a mix of Hamburg and Decca, if I remember right. Then we have some interview albums. We have the Beatles tapes, Talk Down Under, West Coast Invasion, Press Conferences 64 to 66, which is a picture disc. Another picture disc. We have Larry Kane's Ticket to Ride. And last but not least for the Beatles, we have Timeless 2. Hope you enjoyed this video of Beatles records. And stay tuned for more record videos and more Random Monkeys videos.